Hi there. How y'all doing? Today I'm making some homemade beans. Just like I used to do, like I said, back on the ranch. You know, because growing up on the ranch, yeah, we was hungry all the time. All that hard work and taking care of the cattle. But now times are modernized and we got all this fancy equipment to work with. So I don't have to cook on an open fire anymore. Well, unless I'm out in the field, tending to the cattle, well then, that's a different story. Then I'll get everything on the wagon and I'll get myself prepared. But nothing fancy like I'm gonna show you today. Oh, I got here all my ingredients set out, prepared, and seeing I'm going all out, fancy like, I got here a crock pot. Because in my videos, when I show you, I love these crock pots nowadays, and they're so practical compared to the old-fashioned cast iron crock pots, like my grandma, my mom, when they were teaching me how to make the beans, they would make them indoors in the oven with the wood stove. See, with these fancy pots, you see. This pot, fancy, it's used for beans or soup, but I had to use one of those cast iron ones, for the fire. Okay, now let's get started cooking here. First, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take for your beans, we got the fancy beans nowadays in the bag. We got in the bags now. But before, we used to have to take the pods. Yeah, you had to take, when you had your bean sprouts, your string beans, and you had to dry them out and open up the pod and take out the beans one by one. What a job. But that was the only way you could dry them out and bring them out with you, on your trips, But today we got them in a bag. And what you want to do is, well, if you're going to use the whole bag, you're going to need a bigger crock pot. Yeah, this one's just a small one here I got. And they got the fancy recipe on the back of what you need. But the most important thing is, like my grandma used to say, when you're taking your beans, what you want to do is soak them. Soak them in cold water overnight. And add a teaspoon of this baking soda. Yeah. You want to add a tablespoon of baking soda, or a teaspoon, depending if you use half a bag or the whole bag. This is a very important step. Can't miss. Because it not only disinfects the beans, it also prepares them for the cooking next day. And it's gonna remove some of the gas, because beans are recommended to give you gas. That's what they say, and it's true. It's kind of hard when you're eating beans around an open campfire, because the campfire you could explode. So soak them in the baking soda overnight. Now, first what you want to do is if you're going to follow the recipe, you can. But I've been doing this for so long that I know it all by heart, you see. So I take my crock pot and I'm going to start by adding the beans. Nice and easy. You don't want to, traumatize the beans. You're going to give them a complex and they're going to stay hard. If you want nice soft beans, you gotta be real gentle, soft with them. So you want to put in your beans. Nice and gentle. Okay. Now we got our beans in there. And as you can tell, I'm all dressed up for the occasion for this video because later on I'm gonna go and see, that's the fun part. Because after I finish the video, I'm just gonna put the crock pot on for 7 hours while I'm out there tending to my cattle. Yeah. And I'm gonna saddle up my horse. Her name's Nellie. She's a love. She's a good horse. Yeah. Okay, enough rambling here. So now you've got the beans. Now what you want to do is you want to add your fancy ingredients. You see, I chopped up some onion. So you want to add a good 1/4 cup, of onion. Depending if you like onions or not. But you can add some onion. If you don't like onion, don't put none in. No. Now, we got the onion in. We're going to add some mustard. I got here some good old-fashioned mustard. We want to put that in too. Yeah. Get that mustard in there. So now, we got in the mustard. But you see, in the old days, I would used to carry some dry mustard. Because we had to make our own mustard from mustard seeds. Yeah, so we had dry mustard. I don't have the original tin anymore that it came in, because that was like a long time ago. So, but you can still buy it today and make your own. What a difference it makes, I'm telling you. Now, another thing we didn't have back then, we didn't have this fancy ketchup you got today. No, all ready and made and processed. Well, makes it a lot easier. So, gotta add your ketchup. Nice and gentle like. Yeah. Add that ketchup. I used to make my own ketchup with real tomatoes. Yeah. Real fancy red tomatoes. Did it on the campfire too. Real simple to make. You just boil your tomatoes, add a bit of sugar, some onion, some spices, and just simmer that down, and you got your own homemade ketchup. Now, another of the most important ingredients is the molasses. Yeah, you gotta have the molasses. That's really important. So you want to put in your molasses. I like a lot of molasses. Molasses basically is just sugar extract. That's all it is, But I used to make my own molasses. Well, you could put in brown sugar too, But I used to take my sugar and I used to brown it on the fire with some water. And when it started to bubble, and then cook down, it would turn into molasses, you see. I would make my own molasses. Yeah. Basically what I'm saying is, I used to do everything on the campfire outside, because I really stocked up my wagon good when I left. So, and when you're a cowboy cook out there in the wild, sometimes you get this, you get these extras, especially if you got your gun close. Maybe sometimes like a rabbit will pass by, or a wild turkey, or a partridge or something. So we'd have some meat. And now you want to add here some apple cider vinegar. Of course, today it's all in the supermarkets, but you want to add a little bit of apple cider vinegar just to give it that right touch of acidity. Yeah, you need that. I used to make my own apple cider vinegar. Yeah, with real apples. Oh yeah. I'd take my apples and I would crush them up, put some water, and then I'd set them out in a jug in the sun, and they would ripen good, make my apple cider vinegar. Now, you're gonna need some water. Yeah. don't forget the water. You want to mix all that up real good. So, you want enough water just to cover up the beans because they're going to swell up nice and dandy like. Just mix that up real good here. Give it a little stir. I want to add a bit of pepper. And a bit of salt. You can start light, Don't add a lot at first, because later on, when you come to test it, because you might have to add some more water. It's very possible, so you're just going to have all this together. And now, another very important ingredient is the meat. I got myself a piece of rib brisket here that I smoked over the fire. Yeah, been smoking for 5 hours. Yeah, it's a nice piece of brisket meat. Yeah, pork. You're gonna add that to your beans. That's gonna give it that little smoky, yummy taste, But if you can't smoke it on a fire outdoors, you can always get this fancy sauce they got, that's smoke flavored. I don't recommend it, but look, when you don't have the necessities, you have to improvise, like I do all the time out in the field. So now I got my crock pot here. Shh. Don't dramatize the beans. I don't want hard beans. Okay, gonna put that in my crocky pot here. Just cover her up. Nice and slow. Sometimes it helps too if you talk to them. Yeah. Now you guys cook down nice and soft like, okay? That's good, You can talk to them too. It helps. Or if you're by the campfire and you're cooking your beans, you got your guitar close. You can always, sing them a cowboy song. I'm just a lonely cowboy, alone on my ranch. I got all my cattle, my horse, and some big beans. That too is relaxing, it helps them so. But I don't have my guitar. Now, I'm gonna let this go for 7 hours, but I'll be back later to check on them. Yeah, because they'll probably need some more loving and water, so I'm gonna go tend to my cattle now. Yeah, before, I come back and check on them. In the meantime, you get cooking, and if you can, like I said, get that campfire going outside. and give it a try. You'd be surprised what you can do. Yeah. But if you can't, you got all the fancy stuff today, so there ain't no excuse that you can't make your own super fancy homemade baked beans. Yeah. So take care. You know we love you. And be catching you on our next adventure. Yeah. Just like Grandma and Ma used to make. So good, so good. Yeah. Okay. Now I gotta start cleaning up again. You know, I hate dishes. You know, I just don't like doing the dishes. But I don't have a choice. 'Cause I ain't got nobody else to do them for me.